Now that you have identified an idea, let's say a robotics company or an IoT company or an AI software company or whatever else you have, before you start building anything, when it comes to a real product or a service, it's always advisable and wise to sort of build out a comprehensive pitch deck or a business plan prior to building anything real. What that forces you to do is to think about the minutiae of a business that you're looking to build out, the small and trivial details like how will you hit the market, what will be the features of your product or service, what is the customer segment, how big is the total addressable market and the serviceable obtainable market, essentially referring to the market that you can go after. How will you drive sales? What are the key value propositions of your product or service? Do you need external capital? If so, how much capital do you need? Do you have a competitive advantage? All these little things come into play when you're actually, before building anything, you're putting an entire business plan on paper, or whether you call it a business plan or a pitch deck. These minutiae are very important to think out and save you from a lot of pain down the line. Once you have, of course, built out some business materials that outline the idea and all its granularities, you have to start building out a narrative of your company. Storytelling, unfortunately or fortunately, it is very important in the day and age we're living in right now. People, have a tendency, we as customers, as investors, as any category of the global economic ecosystem, every individual tends to fall apart, to fall victim to this bias of making decisions based on how your gut feeling reacts to a particular story. So we judge each other based on how a particular individual makes them feel. Investors judge founders based on how a story of a particular startup makes them feel. It's not something I'm fond of. It's not, it is an unfortunate reality, but founders who are looking to build out companies and seek external capital need to be especially wary of having a compelling story and a solid narrative of why that business is viable and inevitable. We'll talk about inevitability and creating the effect of inevitability in a few consequent slides, but you have to have a very polished narrative. That is a key and a very important detail as you're designing your venture. This is a set of questions that we at Network VC utilize. Essentially, these are recommendations by Peter Thiel, the founder of PayPal and many other unicorn technology companies. You have to ask yourself these set of 7 questions that we recommend our founders to ask themselves these questions and be able to answer them very coherently and very definitively, very confidently, and with ample empirical evidence to support these 7 questions: the engineering question, the timing question, the monopoly question, people question, the distribution question, the durability question, and the secret question, which is, do you have a unique opportunity that others haven't seen yet? What is your competitive advantage? Use these 7 points to build out, as I recommended earlier, a narrative and a compelling story for your particular company and its value proposition. And these 7 questions help you guide you in defining that narrative, essentially. Okay, going forward, this is an important statistic I wanted to share. According to this Harvard Business School professor, Dr. Wasserman, 65% of startups fail because of conflict arising between co-founders. The first fund that I worked at, called Quick Capital Partners, was my first exposure to the world of technology investing. I saw so many of our portfolio company founders have, issues arising interpersonally that led to the entire company